Edge at 11 starts now.
Tonight on The Edge, the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office is drawing a hard line with a bold new crackdown on fleeing drivers. No deals, no excuses.
And he's not stopping there. He's calling on lawmakers to back him up. Fox 2's Tanisha Cordell has more on the push behind the policy.
Prosecutor Pete Lucido says no more warnings, no more reduced plea deals. He says Macomb County, law enforcement, even families, they can no longer afford the deadly cost of these police chases. The message from Macomb County is clear.
Using a 4,300-pound machine, which is a bullet, running down the road at 100 miles an hour to get away from law. You need to stop this.
Prosecutor Pete Lucido warning, in any police chase, reduced plea deals are off the table.
What good is it if the person's getting probation?
As of May this year, there has been 139 police chases across Macomb County. Last year, there were 403. Though in Warren, the police commissioner touting year-to-date police chases down 50% compared to last year.
Our goal is no pursuits. Our goal is zero use of forces. We wish everybody would pull over, voluntary comply.
Though that wish not yet granted, our cameras rolling on the aftermath of a chase just Tuesday. What started as a traffic stop by Warren police ended with the driver crashing in an alley near 7 Mile and Boulder in Detroit. And another back in March. Warren police dash cam capturing the moment a driver lost control and crashed into a Detroit home off of Livernois.
These pursuits happen, and we do catch the offender. A lot of times, due to the rules of the game now, the guidelines are probation.
It's why Lucido is pressing state lawmakers to step up to help his team and others prosecute under a new bipartisan deal introducing mandatory jail time for fleeing and eluding. A crime he says is running up the bill for municipalities and putting too many lives at risk.
No more wins for the criminal. It's time to go ahead and prosecute, put people behind bars where they belong when they don't follow the law.
Prosecutor Lucido has a meeting set at the end of the month with lawmakers and officials on both sides of the political aisle, hoping they can strike a bipartisan deal to crack down even more on fleeing and eluding from police. He also wants it taught in driver's ed. I'm Tanisha Cordell reporting on The Edge.
A Richmond woman gets jail time after causing a deadly crash near Romeo. Courtney Niezgoda was sentenced today to 8 months in jail with credit for 2 days served. She was also given 3 years probation. The crash happened in February 2024. Prosecutors say in February 2024, she was on social media when she ran a red light at M53 near 32 Mile Road, slamming into another vehicle. The crash killed 63-year-old Tina Yaney. Niezgoda pleaded no contest back in April. Also tonight, city services are paused in Rockwood after someone threatened to shoot up the police station.
Police say it could have been a prank, but didn't want to take any chances. As Fox 2's Lauren Edwards tells us, Rockwood was recently in the spotlight for a separate and controversial case.
There is no direct threat to public. This is very specifically addressed towards this police department.
Rockwood City offices were closed Wednesday after police say they received a disturbing message around 7 a.m.
It is not a bomb threat. It's actually came in this morning, a couple voicemails. One of them indicated that he was going to shoot up our police station.
Chief Randy Krause says city officials suspended services for the day and locked the doors.
Obviously, we take not only threats against our community seriously, but obviously threats against our own employees.
The threat comes just a few weeks after Rockwood police pulled over 18-year-old Macomb Duarte, who immigrated from Colombia to the U.S. over 2 years ago seeking asylum. Krause says he doesn't know if Wednesday's threats are in any way connected to that case.
We're not going to speculate on what it may or may not be connected with. I mean, obviously speculation can run the gamut of what it could be related to, so we're going to let the evidence lead us to where it does.
Police say on May 20th, he and classmates were driving to Lake Erie Metro Park in Rockwood for a school trip when they were stopped. A teacher of Begoya Duarte says when she went to get them, an officer told her that they called Customs and Border Protection for a Spanish translator to help with the language barrier. He was driving without a license. He was then detained and sent first to an ICE detention center in the Upper Peninsula. The Michigan Immigrant Rights Center, who's representing him, him, says Wednesday his request for a pause was denied. He's now awaiting deportation at a detention center in Louisiana.
This is a situation that Border Patrol is handling, and we're going to let them handle it to the best of their ability.
As for Rockwood police, they've launched an investigation and say the person or people behind the voicemails could face serious charges and years behind bars.
This is considered a terroristic threat, so it could conceivably go up into the federal level. We haven't made that determination as of yet, but it does fall under terroristic threats by the state laws.
We just heard from the police chief that they just made an arrest in this case, and he hopes to reopen all city offices Thursday morning. Reporting here in Rockwood, Lauren Edwards, On the Edge.
Well, a curfew now in effect for the downtown areas of Los Angeles following days of protests over ICE raids and immigration policies. Demonstrators are calling for ICE, the National Guard, and the Marines to leave the city. It comes as dozens of mayors from across the LA region banded together today to also demand that the Trump administration stop the stepped-up immigration raids they say have sparked fears across their cities. As the rallies continue out west, a number of cities have been protesting in solidarity, and that includes Detroit, where protesters got together today calling for an end to ICE raids around the country.
Fox 2's Dave Kinchin has more from that rally.
Newly posted video by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement showing its Detroit officers and special agents arresting 24 undocumented immigrants at what ICE calls ongoing targeted immigration enforcement operations, one of many local and national scenes prompting responses like this.
No racist, fascist USA!
Trump, no ICE, no KKK! A group of protesters demonstrating outside the ICE Detroit field office looking to echo a message coming from out west.
We're here protesting in solidarity with LA.
Kate Stenvig says the demonstrations in Los Angeles are the prime response needed to ICE agents raiding several Southern California cities looking for those with unlawful presence in the United States. The Trump administration responding by sending in the National Guard and the Marines.
The National Guard needs to get out of LA. The protests that are spreading from LA to all across the country are exactly what is needed to drive ICE out of our communities.
Locally, ICE continues to work, saying they've arrested a convicted murderer and convicted arsonist in the same day. And outside the federal building downtown, another round of demonstrations as organizers work to shed light on activity in the city's southwest section, including a member of city council.
This morning around 6:30 a.m. I received a message that there was a quote-unquote raid happening. We also hear that the whole family was detained and taken away, including a baby. But this is happening every single day.
Fox 2 inquired about that report to ICE, but they would only say in a statement, due to our operational tempo and the increased interest in our agency, we are not able to research and respond to specifics of routine daily operations for ICE. Other concerns include alleged violations of due process, where people are showing up for their asylum cases and hearings,
and then getting them dismissed, and as they walk out the door, they're picked up by ICE and taken away.
The Trump administration defending the ICE activity, saying it's about getting violent and dangerous criminals out of the country, but many protesters aren't buying it.
What do you say to people who say, well, you know, they're just trying to get bad people out of the country who have criminal records? What do you say to them?
It's just racism. It's 100% racism.
This is not what we stand for. This is not what we want.
And as these protests around the country continue, the local Detroit organizers say they won't be backing down anytime soon. In downtown Detroit, Dave Kinchin, On the Edge.
New developments today involving James and Jennifer Crumbley. Attorneys for the parents of the Oxford school shooter have been trying to have their guilty verdicts overturned. But today, an Oakland County judge issued a ruling that upholds those verdicts and denies the couple a possible retrial. In her opinion, Judge Cheryl Matthews stated the Crumbleys received a fair trial and verdict worthy of the evidence. In a statement, Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald said in part, quote, now that the jury's verdicts have been reviewed and upheld, it's time to turn our attention away from the Crumbleys and refocus on the Oxford victims. The bottom line is both James and Jennifer Crumbley were convicted by juries of their peers after receiving a fair trial, end quote. Well, switching gears a little bit to the weather. It was nice out there today, if you like the warm, that is.
Yeah, and a slight chance of rain as we head towards Friday, but weather authority Rich Luderman You're a dad out there, man. Give yourself a good gift on Sunday, huh?
Yes, dry
Nice
weather
forecast.
for Sunday, Father's Day. That's what I'm talking about. It was breezy and warm this afternoon. A lot of us topped out in the middle 80s. Now, there is a weak cold front just to our north, and that's going to change the wind direction overnight tonight. So tomorrow's not going to be as warm. Notice there are clusters of showers and storms well west of Chicago. There could be a stray shower up around Saginaw through the overnight period, but right now it is quiet out there for Detroit, for Port Huron, to Lansing, Grand Rapids, and Fort Wayne. How about live pictures from Chicago? They made it into the 90s today. We topped out in the middle 80s, but that's a live picture there. Beautiful city indeed. How about these highs? 86 for us, 87 Benton Harbor. There's Milwaukee, 88. Certainly not as warm up around Alpena, Traverse City, and Sheboygan, topping out in the mid to upper 70s. 86 and 57. Nothing close to any record of 97. There's your sunset getting later and later, 10 minutes after 9. Right now, it's very mild across the area. However, up along Interstate 69, cooler northeast flow is starting to kick in, and you can see those temperatures cooler up there into the thumb especially. Still 74 Adrian, 67 in Ann Arbor. The wind is a lot less now than what it was this afternoon when it was gusty. Now this northeast breeze is going to take over for the rest of tonight, so all of these readings will come down. 77 for us, 62 in Muskegon. Quiet weather persists for tomorrow. Even most of Friday is going to be dry, but then Friday night into Saturday, we're going to have an area of low pressure come at us from the south and west. You'll see that in the forecast. Very mild with that full moon out there. 63 the overnight low. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, pleasant, just not as warm, not as windy with a high of 79. Right there is the 7-day forecast. Temperatures in the 70s over the weekend. Dry for Father's Day. It warms up again next week, Roop. How about another check at 4 a.m.?
All right, thanks so much, Rich. Well, good news for drivers who are heading up north this month. The southbound lanes of the Zilwaukee Bridge are back open. MDOT had planned to keep southbound closed until June 27th, but finished its maintenance early, reopening them today. MDOT will close the northbound lanes of the bridge on August 1st to continue the same preventative maintenance.